Yeah, last
at
week,
least
Miguel.
At least a view if it wasn't a follow.
It was Miguel.
That reminds me. I need to.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic.
Oh my god. That's like every.
I don't know about you. I like it.
That is every embarrassing thing that has ever happened.
No, it's not. Cheesebeard isn't there.
I guess we're ready, right? Lucas, you're the host. So
oh God, it's a pattern.
All right, so I'm going to wait. Am I recording
this
there?
Whole show
Yes,
is
I am.
One toxic pattern.
I'm recording here. I am also recording in this bitch. All right, let's go. Make a note in Audacity. God, there's so many different things I have to flip now because we have this upgraded OBS, but I kind of like it. Show start. All right, let's do it.
Wow, I haven't waxed my mustache in so long. I forgot how pointy and curly it can get.
I haven't waxed my mustache in a while either.
Psst, I have another show that I do with Steve that we don't tell Eugene about. You can find that at Twitch.
What is our thing?
If Mario and Luigi were to do a podcast, it might sound something like this. Infendo Radio is on now.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone, Luigi. Welcome to Infendo Radio. My name is Lucas. I hope you enjoyed that stinger that Eugene prepped for us at the show. We record a lot of stingers that you hear in the interim of the show, and some of them are not done well the first time. And I decided to keep that one around, and now I'm seeing why. You are listening to Infendo Radio, episode 596. I've already said that I'm Lucas. I am joined by a colorful cast of characters, both old and new, joining me on this adventure. Starting with the one who, again, queued up that fantastic soundbite for you, Eugene. How you doing tonight? And for those live viewers, how are you feeling surrounded by all of our beautiful faces?
Well, I'm doing great. I'm feeling fantastic. Okay, so I'm about to jinx myself, but my kiddo has had 5 nights in a row of sleeping 12 hours in a row. So, I'm rested,
Well,
I say.
So what I'm hearing is we should all be shouting, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, as loud as we can.
But no, I'm feeling good. Go to infendo.com if you want to do things. Yeah, that's where you can find me and all the stuff.
Beautiful. Steve, you were saying something. How you doing tonight?
The only thing that could have made that intro any funnier is had I answered the thing that Eugene put in. That would have been so much better. But I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was too busy laughing, Eugene.
Well, now's your chance. Where can you find our other podcasts?
At our Linktree page, linktr.ee/hypervoice, or you can link to our Linktree through my Linktree, linktr.ee/agentis. Right? It's a loop. It's that loop we were talking about.
Going from a tree
loop.
to a forest at this point.
Right. That
Justin.
being said, if you don't want to remember the link, click on it on the show notes because Eugene rocks.
All right. Justin, get us out of the forest. How are you doing tonight?
Hello. Thank you for being a friend.
You're welcome for being a friend. I like
you
to
traveled
think I'm
down
Betty
the road,
White.
back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And you can find me.
I've never heard so many
Twitter,
nice things said exclusively about me.
At Infendo Justin. You can follow my Disney tweetings at Utilidork. And please go to thedisneyparkbench.com and check out my blogs, my guides, and our newest episode of the Disney Park Bench podcast.
Beautiful. Guys, I just want to say real quick before we get started, because tonight we all appear to be in prime form. If you enjoy listening to this podcast, which hopefully you do if you're listening to it right now, you will enjoy the live version even more. We get weird, we get wacky, and you get to see us react live on the feed. So join us on Twitch, join us on YouTube, and join us on Facebook now. We're actually doing that. So come be a part of the experience. With that said, guys, we got a lot to get into tonight. Probably picked a horrible topic for tonight because of where we are mentally. But there was a lot that happened this week, and I learned about most of it through Steve. There was a Dragon Quest podcast that came out in Japan at midnight my time.
Mhm.
So Steve was texting me about all these new Dragon Quest games and remakes and things that are coming out. We had a Sonic Direct that I can only call a Direct. I don't know what they called it, like a live stream update or something. But it was,
I think it was a Sonic. I think it was the first annual Sonic Showcase or something like that.
It was a freaking Direct. They bit directly off of Nintendo. Cue a joke from Justin about how Sonic's been doing that for the last 30 years. And on top of all that, we've got a huge controversy going on right now. Let's start with that because that's going to be fun.
There was also a Monster Hunter Rise update. We got 3.0. We got a Minecraft Dungeons update, which I am excited about.
So needless to say, we have a lot to talk about. But let's start with the thing that everybody hates, or hates to discuss at least. The infamous Loftwing amiibo for the Skyward Sword HD update. I'm just gonna, you know me, you know how, other than Breath of the Wild, how non-opinionated I am on stuff. I'm just gonna come out before we even address the topic and say I don't really care, but people on the internet do, so that's enough reason for us to spend
I
time
really thought I was
about
gonna have the only one with that kind of approach tonight.
Nah,
but
I
hey,
think
buddy.
I think we're all pretty cool around here. So the long and short of it is, and guys, help me fill in the gaps because I haven't been keeping that up with it. There is this new beautiful amiibo. You guys remember amiibos, right? All the rage like 50 years ago.
It appears to be the same size as every other Zelda amiibo, the 20 some odd other there are.
Yeah, it's got a picture of, it's got a model of Zelda from Skyward Sword with her blue Loftwing, I believe. And it costs $25 whopping to purchase. And
that's $10 above the normal retail price for an amiibo that size.
And on top of that, it unlocks an exclusive feature in the Skyward Sword remake that is coming out later this year that allows you to, as I understand it, travel across the map faster, because that was something people didn't like about the original game.
Yeah,
basically.
Go ahead, Justin.
Basically, in the original, you had to find a special statue to warp back up to Skyloft or jump off to warp back down to the land. And now the amiibo, if you scan it, it basically does that function wherever you are, even if you're in a dungeon.
Okay,
right.
so Skyward
it's basically
Sword...
what is it? Ferrari's twin? It's basically that.
So Skyward Sword is my favorite Zelda ? And I never really had an issue with fast travel. Like, I'll be real, like, I don't mind going like 3 minutes out of my way to hit a statue and loop back up. But hey, I'm old school like that, I guess.
My
this is the thing
is that it was this to me is a lot like the Wolf Link. It adds a little bit extra, right? But it's not necessary, you know. Like,
I would say that the Wolf Link is actually more practical. Like, this is a quality of life improvement. Wolf Link was a full
dungeon,
feature.
Right? Like, you did like a whole trial.
I don't know if we're talking about Breath of the Wild or.
Oh, I was thinking Twilight Princess remake.
So that's just it. Wolf Link is two separate things in two separate games. It's a full dungeon in one game, and it's a companion in another game.
So here's the thing that weirds me out a little bit, because again, I have no intention of buying the amiibo. I'm kind of amiiboed out, to be honest, and I have been for a very long time. But why is it $25? That part's a little sketchy to me.
So when you guys said that, I actually just looked at my phone. I was like, I didn't pay $25 for these amiibos, and I was like, I did. I absolutely did.
You did.
That's the part that's weird to me, because it's not like a jumbo amiibo. It's not something. So like that's kind of
larger than most of the others.
You said it was the same size.
No, if you look at the base on the amiibo and the figurines on top, it's the same. It appears in the pictures to be the same size base of a standard Zelda amiibo.
I trust him on this.
If you look at the I've got an amiibo or 20. If you look at a picture of the Guardian amiibo, you can see the base is much smaller than the Guardian itself. But if you look at, say, Skyward Sword Link, and you look at the size of
the
that
Guardian
base
amiibo only has to be under the base of the Guardian, whereas this has to be under two characters. So.
I do feel like we would have heard something about it being an XL amiibo, though, if it
because when they did Mega Yarn Yoshi and Detective Pikachu, that was a feature that it was twice the size of a normal amiibo. Or the yarn ones were slightly different because they were yarn Yoshis, so they had to be built different, so they cost more. But I think even those only cost like $16 or $17.99 for the yarn ones, for the little ones.
So yeah, I don't know.
There's-
It's just a little weird that it costs so much money.
So something I want to bring up, this is not the first time they've locked fast travel but behind a paywall. They did this in Breath of the Wild. Now hear me out before you object. Fast travel is in Breath of the Wild through the towers. However, in the expansion pass, you get a relic that you can use that'll let you drop your own custom fast travel point that is
that a thing?
exclusive to the DLC.
Which amiibo is that?
It's not an amiibo, it's DLC. It's locked behind the expansion pass.
That was a
And-
thing? I don't remember ever using
Oh, there
that.
was the
Yeah.
medallion thing.
Yes, that's it. Thank
Couldn't
you.
you
I
just-
remember what it was
couldn't you
Okay,
called.
I do remember that.
Oh, so it would allow you to create a waypoint to
Okay,
travel
yes.
to?
Right,
Wow.
yeah. There was a medallion that you could, like, if there was a specific spot on the map that you wanted to warp to.
Like your house.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I ever found that.
It should have just appeared in your room. Well, no, actually, the quest to
No,
get
you
it
had to find
was
it.
hidden
You had
under
to
one
find
of
a
the
treasure
mazes.
chest for it.
God, yeah,
That's right.
I never even knew about that. I never needed
So-
it. I think by the time the DLC came out, I had already done the Korok mission. But like,
And that's kind of the big thing that people are talking about. On the flip side, is amiibo are kind of a physical form of DLC. When the original Hyrule Warriors came out, if you scanned the original Link amiibo, it gave you a weapon that was exclusive to that amiibo. They brought that, placed it elsewhere in the later versions of Hyrule Warriors.
yeah,
But it's not the first time they've locked a feature like that behind. And Nintendo's stance on amiibo has always been, we're going to give you something extra, but it probably won't take away from your enjoyment of the base game.
yeah.
Well, right. It's never been an essential feature. Like, you've never needed, and except for like that free Mario versus Donkey Kong game, it's never been an essential
Right.
feature. It's an upgrade or a quality of life improvement or something. Like,
Right.
I think of all of the amiibo things for people to get all up in arms about, this is one of the more ridiculous ones because, okay, like, I want the amiibo because I want amiibo. Because I like amiibo, I think they look pretty on my shelf, and that's my issue to deal with. Like, I don't like, I'll use the amiibo for the extra feature, but it's not essential.
Right.
Like, I don't care. There are other features that amiibo have unlocked that have been more practical than this that I can understand, but like the
So-
amiibo for Shovel Knight, not that that's a Nintendo game, but the amiibo for Shovel Knight completely transformed the game for me.
Right.
Like, that's
So, and there is one more issue that people are taking with amiibo functionality in Skyward Sword, and it actually has nothing to do with the Loftwing amiibo. People are upset because the Loftwing amiibo is the only amiibo that is working with Skyward Sword. And from what I've been reading, that has been confirmed by Nintendo, that the only amiibo functionality for Skyward Sword will be Loftwing, not even the Skyward Sword Link amiibo, and a lot of people are upset about that.
But yeah, but if they don't have like any planned content to match the amiibo, then like they don't.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
and again, like, it's something that would be nice, but it's not a necessity. So I'm about it. Like, I don't know. I think the
All right.
fact that the amiibo doesn't do anything like huge makes it easier for me to stomach the idea that I might not get one.
right.
Eugene, final thoughts before we move on to other topics?
I'm with you on this one.
Chill
Like,
AF.
yeah, like I guess my capper is like, if you don't like it, then
Well,
don't buy the freaking amiibo.
and
Don't buy the game,
I feel like
I
feel like we're both like center of the issue, and we're on like both sides of the center, right? Because
sure.
I don't care, and I didn't buy it, not out of outrage or anything, just because I don't need another amiibo. They look nice, but what am I doing with them? They don't really do anything special. They're not going to get any special costumes or anything. You bought it because you like amiibo, apparently. So it's like, but neither of us really are up in arms.
Yeah.
That's
It
the
does
thing,
kind of
too.
suck that, like, everything else Nintendo has released, the combination of limited supply and a-hole scalpers has made them nearly
Yeah.
impossible to get. But
Yeah, but that's
totally.
just an issue with being
Yeah.
a Nintendo fan. Let's be real. All right.
Oh, and don't get me wrong either. I'm not up in arms about it. I
Oh,
got
no,
my
I don't-
amiibo, and I'm not going to use it. So.
I don't think any of the four of us are strongly opinionated or angry to the point of going online or anything.
Totally.
Moving on, because we have a lot more to go over. Steve, you want to hit this one? The Dragon Quest
Yeah.
Direct that came out in Japan last night. How many games are coming out? How many of those games are coming out to the United States? How many of those
So-
games will Lucas be getting?
Okay, so there were 6 games announced, and I'm going to see if I can remember all of them. The first one they announced was a match 3 game, and they basically turn random characters from the game into erasers, and you're trying to erase something. Seems to be a free-to-play game
I
on
thought you
mobile.
misspoke for a moment.
Yeah,
No,
it all
I did
sounded
not.
like garbage to me. I don't
I
know
did
what
not.
any of that meant.
It's going to be a free-to-play mobile game, and I was only half listening to that one because I really didn't care. But I don't know if that one will be coming west. The next game that they talked about was Dragon Quest X Online. Dragon Quest X Online is getting its version 6 update right around the time of the 10th anniversary of Dragon Quest X Online. And that one is not coming west.
But Steve, you hear me asking inquisitively, what if I, an American, want to play Dragon Quest X and can't play the online version? Is there something for me to do?
Well,
No.
I know they are doing Dragon Quest X offline.
Oh my,
the
this
next
is the
one they
first
talked
time
about.
hearing of that.
That being said, because the direct is Japanese and we may or may not have been doing a monster fight, I may or may not have missed whether that one is coming west.
May have been knee deep in a little Valstrax during that point, getting bombarded
it
from
was-
the skies. You know,
It was a little rough. He ambushed me. The thing that I did hear about, though, that is coming west, and Justin, listen up because this is not a mispronunciation again. Dragon Quest III HD 2D is coming west.
I hate the way they name things, but I love the way they make their games.
Do you want to talk about that one? Because I know you watched the trailer on that one, Lucas.
Yeah, it's a remake of Dragon Quest III in the Bravely Default engine, as I understand it.
Nope,
And it,
Octopath.
Octopath engine, and it looks beautiful, guys. I am
Yeah.
a Dragon Quest III purist. I discovered the game many a year ago.
Yeah,
when
let's talk about the conversation we had last night as we're hunting.
So the game has come out on many platforms. Super Nintendo, which I think looks the ugliest, original NES, which I think was Japan only, Game Boy, which was beautiful. I love Game Boy sprites. I think they hold up so well. And a number of other systems. In fact, it was one of the games that got remade on the Switch. You can buy the original 3 Dragon Quests. They
And
look
it's
like
on
butt.
sale right now, by the way.
Like
They look like
the
butt.
mobile versions of them, but
Yeah, they're mobile versions. They look like they were made in Flash. They're awful. This one looks really freaking good. We're talking like the
Yeah.
3D environments from Octopath with like the 2D sprites. It looks
Yeah.
so nice. So
And Lucas had told me that last night. He's like, I really only like the Game Boy one.
that was
And I'm like, shut up, watch the trailer, and get back to me after you've watched
and
it.
I
tell
watched
me
the
what you
trailer
think.
and I was like, yeah, I want this. I want to own this. So I'm excited
and
for
then
that.
and then they did a one more thing announcement, and we got a title reveal. Well, I don't know if it was a title reveal, but it just said Dragon Quest 12, and it said coming soon. So Dragon Quest 12 is coming out, and from what I did hear on that one, because that was in the heat of the Valstrax battle, it's going to be a darker Dragon Quest geared towards adults, and they said it's coming to modern consoles.
That never
But they
bodes
were-
well
they
for
were not
Nintendo
allowed-
fans.
Yeah, they were not allowed the person talking. They had kind of a referee that was there, and I don't know if that's normal for these Japanese style directs, but they had a referee that was kind of with a whistle that was saying
beating
what
him
they
with a
could and
stick
couldn't
every
say.
time he said something wrong.
And the guy that created Dragon Quest is like, and it's coming to, and then you would hear a whistle because the referee knew what he was going to say and said, you can't say that. So they almost told us, but they couldn't. So, but it did
Eugene?
say modern consoles.
Justin, have either of you ever used whistles? Or played
This
Dragon Quest, I
reminds
guess?
this reminds me of back in the Xbox 360, PS3, Wii generation, when they would release a game and they say, out for everything.
And
But not Wii, but they would actually list off everything that it is on instead of saying
we were the
everything but
Professor
Wii.
and Marianne of the Gilligan Island of video game consoles back then. Yeah. And if you're old enough to get that reference, I'm truly sorry for you.
That's me.
I mean, technically, none of us are old enough to get that reference, but we all get that
we all
reference.
watched it. Yeah. So, and that was the Dragon Quest 35th anniversary direct. It was actually fun to watch. Like, I've never seen a foreign direct like that before.
So then this afternoon, or I guess this morning, depending on what part of the country you live in, we got a Sonic Direct, and that was exciting, if not kind of predictable. Remember how we were talking about Sonic Colors getting remade? Sonic Colors is getting remade. Remember how they were talking about how there was going to be a new Sonic Classic Collection? There's going to be a new Sonic Classic Collection. That actually looks kind of nice because it's the first one that I think I can think of that has... This is where Steve and I argue because Sonic 2 and Knuckles, but it has like all the main old games. It's got Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles, and Sonic CD, which I'm really hyped for because I think that's like the best of the old games. So that's kind of cool. And then at the very, very end, he was all like, he did the thing that everybody's been doing since Sakurai like 15 years ago. He was like, well, I guess we're all done with the direct. And then the director comes on, and he's like, hold on 1 second. I have one more thing that I want to say. And I was like, yeah, freaking course you do. And we got the shortest teaser trailer I've ever seen for a video game. New Sonic 3D game coming out in 2022. So
yeah, and the funny thing about that, Lucas, is that's the same length as the teaser trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie.
Oh my god, perfect. I don't need to know that. I watched the first movie. I know what it's all about. But yeah, so as the resident Sonic fan of the community and one of the only like two that doesn't want to burn him with a burning pitchfork, I'm excited. I've been wanting a new Sonic game. It's been 4 years. For non-Nintendo listeners, there were also a few weird announcements. Remember Sonic Forces, the game that people kind of universally decided was meh at best? That's getting ported, and it's getting ported to a system I've never heard of before that I can't remember the name of.
It's an Amazon something or other.
Yeah, it was like an Amazon Virizion or something. It was super weird.
Yeah, that's got to be in the next Pokemon game. Oh, we have Pokemon announcements too.
Oh my god. Okay, well let's just hammer through this. Eugene, Justin, you guys don't really do Sonic, so I'm sure you're really excited.
I liked Sonic Mania, and I played the classic games, so I'm not anti-Sonic. I just like
honestly,
like
the mobile
needling
game
you.
kind of looks cool.
Oh, the like Sonic Dash or whatever that came out. Yeah. Yeah, that one's been out forever, I think. That one just got a bunch of new content. So yeah, that is a thing. Actually, I think there were 3 Sonic games. Because there was Sonic Dash that's getting new content. They have a game called Sonic Forces that I have no idea
what
what
I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I have no idea what that's about because it's nothing like the actual Sonic Forces game, which is probably a good thing again. And then they have a Sonic like All-Stars racing game that's like mobile exclusive, and they're all getting content because this is Sonic's 30th birthday. But unfortunately, because of COVID, a lot of that stuff got pushed back to next year.
Yeah.
So here we are. Pokemon news? I don't even remember that.
We have, you may have missed this, Lucas, but we did get 2 really big Pokemon announcements in the last couple of days.
Okay.
Or yesterday, actually. According to Cerebi.net, the encyclopedia of Pokemon, we are getting Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl on November 19th of 2021. And we are getting Pokemon Legends Arceus on January 28th of 2022.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say like November 19th of 2022. No. Oh, good. I am ready for Arceus.
3 months of Pokemon games back to back to back like that.
So how verifiable is this news, though?
It's from
if
Cerebi.net.
It's on Cerebi,
if they don't know about it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, they never report on like rumors.
It's not like a rumor. It's like actual news. I'm down.
No. They got it. They got it from the official Pokemon Twitter account, the Japanese version when it broke, and then they got the translated American one later on.
Cerebi, if you'd like to sponsor us, please contact tips@infendo.com.
So that's the Pokemon news.
That's great.
So yeah, so that's hype.
See, I saw that, but
really
I was
want that
just like,
Legends Arceus game.
that's nothing. I just
Pshaw.
I just assumed that it was just like, somebody in their basement, making news up.
When
on
did
Twitter
I
or
become the
something.
news guy?
Hey,
You've always been the news guy, dude. So I have one more thing, and I think we had kind of a tail ender thing. I'm thinking maybe we leave that for next week's topic.
I think
it's
so.
already getting late here. I had an experience this week that I've never had happen to me before. I looked up a leak to Monster Hunter last month, and it turned out to be 100% true. So that was really weird, because, usually you look up the leaks and it's like, oh, yeah, Ridley and King Dedede are coming to Smash. And you're like, oh, that'll never happen. But, there was a data mine for all the content that we got yesterday during the Monster Hunter release. Valstrax, which was a monster from Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, is back. He's very hard.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's
well,
fun.
It's a variant. It's Crimson Wing Valstrax, so he's got a completely different moveset.
He's a demon. There's a new ending to the game, which is something that was missing from the game at launch. Again, COVID related.
Right.
So that's nice to have, like an actual final boss and everything. And a couple of new monsters sprinkled in that are kind of just rehashes of old monsters. But I think both Steve and I were a little underwhelmed, if I can speak for you, Steve. Like,
speak for me, but I have another thought that I haven't told you yet.
The content is fun, and I enjoyed it,
Right.
but I've done it, and now it's like, okay, I'll just hang in there. In another year, I'll get, an ultimate version of the game, and everything will be hunky-dory. But
So I woke up to watch the stream live because this has really been my thing since Monster Hunter came out. This was like my game of the year,
I think
if
you've
I
been
dare
more
say.
into it than me lately.
I think I have, and I've actually brought some people into my Discord that I've had as Twitter followers for years and years, and they were actually watching it with me in my Discord. And we all kind of came away saying the same thing. We're underwhelmed. But then I got thinking about it today while I was at work. And if you think about it, Lucas, what we have now is the full game.
Yeah.
This is Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah.
And everything that comes after is going to be, the ultimate content, essentially.
Well, yeah, like they already announced, like the first 3 additional things that are being added to the game are all like Capcom, partnerships.
Yeah,
so
and you notice they didn't say anything about 4.0.
We'll probably get Sir Arthur again. Maybe we'll get the Okami outfit for our dogs. That was an outfit for the cats in the old game. That kind of stuff. There's so many Capcom games. At one point, they had a JoJo's crossover. Like, there's so much that they can do. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll see it.
Well, and they can do Nintendo tie-ins too. I'm sure they'll want a Breath of the Wild tie-in.
Be nice to get that back. We've had a full wearable Varia suit with a blaster that you could use as a gunner before. There's been a Link in a tunic and sword and shield and everything. It's been pretty cool. So
and their Twitter announced today too that there are, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 new event missions, and I don't feel like looking up that news feed, but there are 2 or 3 new event missions, and one of them, Lucas, is a Coliseum match. So,
oh, nice.
So I'm happy. I have 135 hours in Monster Hunter. So even though I was underwhelmed by the direct, I'm happy with the game, and I'm not disappointed in what we've got so far.
Well, now that Steve and I have pretty much talked exclusively for the last half hour about news, Justin, did you? Oh, okay, that was just you scratching. We'll be right back with Change the System and maybe the question block if you guys were kind enough to write us questions. If not, no question block. You know how this works.
swear.
Does it a lot these days.
You're so clean and put together. I'm not used to it.
Well,
You don't work with him.
God, I
know
feel
how to
like he does
turn
it like
off.
every show. Oh God, are we live right now?
Yes.
Okay, then I won't say what I was about to say.
But we'll be right back. No,
But I
just
will
kidding.
type it. I will type it.
I'm gonna go to this sound. And how does this sound with Justin, I guess? Find somebody. Oh God, my thing's all fucked up because I just did that. How about this?
Go to infendo.com and join our Discord and ask us a question.
We do that one every time I feel, actually. Let's do this one.
Watch us on YouTube.
Especially
Watch us on
punishing
Twitch.
since they didn't.
Watch us on both.
Yeah,
Don't tell them we're on both.
that sounds all right.
Every
for-
Thursday. We're
good.
also on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm gonna include
fuck.
that.
Oh, fuck. You're right. Okay.
do it.
Well,
We're
are
going
gonna
live!
Go with that one right fucking now.
Watch us on YouTube. Watch us on Twitch. Watch us on both.
But don't tell them we're on both.
Every Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern, 7:30 Mountain.
He always gets me with that little pause in between. We're also on Facebook now. We'll update that. Welcome back, everyone. We are here to talk about Change the System, which is the segment where we change the system and talk about the games we've been playing. I hope you guys have all had interesting gaming careers in the last week, and you've got a lot to bring to the table. I choose, because I guess this is my God-given power at this point. Eugene, tell us about the games you've been playing this week.
It's been exclusively Pokemon of
Oh, well, this will be fun.
of various varieties. Pokemon Go is fun. There wasn't an event this weekend, I don't think. But regardless, we still played it.
I think there was a Merrill event this weekend.
Was that what it was?
Do.
Well,
Was that like 4 weeks ago? Time is an illusion.
Carol was like 4 weeks ago.
I was gonna say, I think that was
Talking
like two,
about that
yeah,
on
a
Twitter.
couple of weeks ago at this point. But
There is
yeah,
a Gibble coming up.
we did go and just play Pokemon just for the hell of it, to go get like some spins, so then you don't have to pay for balls and stuff like that. So did that. Got the new legendary Pokemon.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing GoFest? Is GoFest something that can be done remotely now because of COVID?
I don't know,
it's
but
always been able to be. I mean, not like in your house remote, but like
Right,
drive
but
around. Remote.
The reason I ask is because I know that Lucas is collecting shiny unknowns,
mm-hmm.
and if you do GoFest, I believe they announced today. I'd have to check my Twitter feed, but Sarah B has announced that one of the unknowns is going to be available as a shiny during GoFest.
Well, I guess I'm doing GoFest.
I'm wanting to say E, but please don't quote me on that. And I believe tickets are $15.
I don't think I have an E yet, so yeah,
I don't-
GoFest is a thing for me.
I don't know, but I do
Gotta go
know
fast.
that there was a PayPal notification from Pokemon Go earlier today. So probably I'm doing GoFest because I'm sure my wife bought that for me.
Beautiful.
Hang on, I'm back in my
It's nice to
Pokemon
have.
channel.
It's nice to have a second addict in the house who can support your problem, isn't it?
Yeah, so Pokemon Go is fun. The one thing I will say about Pokemon Go to close it off is it sucks when you have to change your buddy, because after you get your buddy all really, good friends with your buddy, and then they start bopping the Pokeballs back at you, that really helps. That really, really helps, especially with like raids and stuff like that. So my new buddy is not my best friend yet, and it's really making me sad. But we're getting there. We are getting there. The next thing that I will say is that I have been playing a lot of Pokemon Snap, but as I was telling Lucas pre-show, in small bursts, an hour here, 30, 45 minutes there, and actually it's been really enjoyable that way. I found that each area is there's actually multiple parts to the area, so maybe I shouldn't get too spoilery here, because we've already kind of talked about day and night and stuff like that. So if people care, sorry, I'm not gonna get too involved. But yeah, you can actually go back to each area in multiple ways, I guess is what I'll say in that. And not only can you go back to the areas in multiple ways, there's like shortcuts that you can unlock in those areas to go visit different parts of the areas. So I'm digging this game a lot, guys. I'm digging it.
That was a very minor feature in the original game, remember? Like, in addition to having to find the 6 hidden Pokemon that were like, shapes and mountains and stuff, I remember in like the swamp, for example, you couldn't get to the cave until you took the secret route in the swamp that I think involved either feeding Bulbasaurs or whacking Metapods or something. God, I kind of want to go back and play old Pokemon Snap now until I can get new Pokemon Snap. And
yeah,
I bet you can play it on your phone.
It's very similar to that, yeah, because I'm not. Some people have never experienced a Pokemon, and I've listened to some, some YouTube things and read the comments. They're like, "You should have never spoiled that for me." It's like, I'm only 12. Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, little 12-year-olds. I'm sorry, but yeah, you can do things to like make you're going back to the places different, because you get like different items that you can use. So
I'm so excited for this game. I'm so excited.
You end up going to the areas that you've already visited and using an item, and then the Pokemon react differently to those items. So it's really cool. I'm really enjoying the game. Again, I probably have only put maybe like 10 hours into it, so I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more for me to explore in it, like I think I've seen every area except for one. So yeah, it's a hell of a game, guys. It's really good. But that's been pretty much my game playing experience. So I will pass the baton to whoever wants to take it.
I'll go. I turned off my virtual background for one reason and one reason alone. I got the new Switch, guys.
It's very reflective.
It is very reflective. There we go.
See all the pornography on your screen right now.
So I wasn't going to bring this.
You can actually see the bookshelf behind it.
I wasn't going to bring this up in the news segment, but I'm going to now. How did you get a new Switch with all the rumors swirling around of a Switch Pro possibly being announced at E3?
I can feel that one, Eugene, because rumors have been swirling around about a Switch Pro for the last 3 years,
but these are like
Bloomberg is reporting on this,
when it does
and Eurogamer, and it's
when it does come out, he'll just trade in one of his Switches and he'll buy a Switch Pro,
or he'll just buy another one and he'll have 12.
You know how it goes.
Let's be real.
What'll happen?
Eugene, if you were asking anybody else this question, it would be logical, but you're asking Steve.
I'll definitely trade in my big Switch for sure. As far as what I'll do with the Switch Lite, I haven't decided yet, because I almost never play my big Switch anymore.
Yeah.
And the fact that it only has a 500 gig card and this one's got a terabyte, and I don't have all my games on my big Switch, it's okay, do I have that game downloaded on that Switch? Can I play it on the TV? No? Okay, well, I'll just play my Switch Lite.
And then there's me with old Cracky.
Yeah, old Cracky, Mr. Duct Tape. Yeah. So I got the Switch last week. Happy Mother's Day to Hellhound's wife. He bought my old one off of me.
It's like, so how does that relate?
My old Switch went to a good friend, at least. So
I broke into her house and stole the thing during Mother's Day.
yeah. So she's enjoying my old turquoise.
I really like that color. I know you've said it's not spot on, but my nostalgia riddled brain, it reminds me so much of an old purple GameCube.
And I'm gonna tell you, the
Game Boy Advance, the original horizontal one.
Yeah.
The cameras, the pictures, even the box itself, if you see the box, doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
You really can't understand the color of the system until you pull it out of the plastic. It's the weirdest thing.
I almost just made the meanest joke about our friend. And he knows exactly what it was. Nobody needs that. Steve, have you been playing anything else?
So last night I finally played the first game that I've actually played since I got the new system last week.
Was there
And-
a hard system transfer there, or was it just
He
popping
spent
into...
like a day and a half transferring files.
No,
He messaged me. You messaged me, and you
hang
were like,
on,
"Well,
hang
I'm on M."
I don't want to confuse the listeners. The profile transfer takes 10 minutes. It's the re-downloading of all the games. I have 635 gigabytes worth of games. I started Friday night at like 7 o'clock, and I think by the time I woke up Sunday morning, it was done.
We laugh because we love, Steve. We laugh because we love.
So
I
finally...
still don't understand why they don't have it set up so you can just remove your SD card from one, pop it in the other.
That's
register
how the
the
3DS
system.
is.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to think of what other system I've done this with.
The
Yeah,
3DS.
the 3DS. You just pop it out, you pop it in the new one, you register the system, and you're good.
You guys
If
are bringing
anybody-
logic to a Nintendo fight.
If anybody needs a walkthrough on how it works, whether you're moving memory cards, transferring systems, I got you covered. Hit me up.
You've done it once or twice, is what you're saying.
On every console ever. That being said, I did finally get to play my first game on it last night because by the time Sunday rolled around, we were watching something and I don't really do much during the week anymore. But we did the Monster Hunter Rise DLC last night, pretty much. Well, we did the 2 big hunts.
We did the exciting ones. We did the ones that are new.
So, yeah, I mean,
Hard.
we've got a deviant monster that came out, which is just like, you know. But holy crap, Valstrax rocked us,
We
dude.
kicked our butts. It was
Like,
impressive.
wow.
Even spoiler final boss was difficult my first time. Like we almost
Well,
got killed in that first
okay.
hunt.
I'm not going to spoil the fight, but I do want to say there's 2 phases to the fight, and we had a monster show up in the middle of the second phase, and we thought it was scripted. And we're like, oh my gosh, that was so cool.
That was
But
the
then-
perfect closer to the story we've been
we were
experiencing.
so happy. It was just absolutely perfect. And then we did the fight again because I was trying to get some of the new materials from it. And when that thing happened again, we're like,
totally different monster.
that's not the same. So our first experience was just the absolute perfect closer to the game.
It was really nice, and I'm really excited for stories. 'cause
That
that's coming
reminds
out.
me,
God.
completely tangential, but it reminds me of the first time I played Red Dead Redemption, and on the last mission,
Yeah.
if you ever played Red Dead Redemption, you know what the last mission is. It spawned a thunderstorm during
nice.
the shootout.
Nice.
So like it was real, like intense and emotional. And
That's
then
cool.
I watched like a video on YouTube. I'm like, wait, that wasn't scripted.
You thought you were being Ocarina of Time, and you were really being Breath of the Wilded.
So, and that actually reminded me when you said Stories 2, something happened in the Stories 2 part of the Monster Hunter Direct.
Oh, Steve's baby.
Oh, and
Astalos.
that reminds me of the
Astalos
time
is
when
back. Astalos is back, so that just shot up to a day 1 purchase for me.
Yeah,
Because I told Lucas if he was confirmed beforehand, I would buy it day 1. If not, I would not buy it until Lucas confirmed
Steve,
he was in the game for me.
Steve has a
Scary.
very
and
particular
then
set
this
of
one
rules.
time at
It's-
band camp.
It's scary how much of because Steve, I remember like 3 years ago, you probably hadn't you hadn't even played Monster Hunter, right? 3 or 4 years ago, but it's
No.
quickly how much of a convert
No,
you.
Oh, it's grown.
Lucas,
Yeah.
Lucas and Mike started me on Monster Hunter.
Mhm.
And, you know, I fell in love with Generations, and then we had all the world drama that damn near broke us. And I've been on the train this time. Like, this is my jam.
It's one of those series, I think, kind of like Pokemon has been for us, that it can suck you in if you're not careful, and it can make you a fan, you know?
However, I will say this: if you don't have something to hunt with, someone to hunt with, you
I'm
don't play
something.
Monster Hunter. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
play Monster Hunter. Like, if Lucas and I aren't hunting together, I don't really have the desire to go grind on my own.
If Steve left the show and told me he hated me and unfriended me and I never spoke to him again, I might still play Monster Hunter, but it would lose a lot of its charm playing by myself. Like, a big part of the game is the shared experience and, you know, working together. Like,
And that's why I don't play it, because I don't have friends.
Well, hook up, man, every midnight at Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but really, like, no, it's a big factor, you know. Like, I've
Yeah.
gotten to know him very well. He knows me very well. He knows when I'm hunkered down with my shield right underneath the monster at like half life that he needs to throw a life powder because I can't get away in order to
Now
do it
that I can
myself.
finally throw them,
I'm really happy that he finally figured out items 100 hours into the game. So yeah, no, it's
even though you do abandon me when I get ambushed by a Valstrax, like from my point of view, I'm like, oh god, he's ambushing one of us. I'm running. Lucas puts the video on his Twitter, and his video is like, oh look, Valstrax is ambushing somebody. He jumps off the cliff to get
I
away.
jumped off the mountain. It was great.
Completely
Like,
abandoned me.
Yeah.
Has anybody been playing anything other than Monster Hunter?
This is the feeling I get when like the Jehovah's Witnesses come and talk to me about Jesus. I'm like,
yeah, well, now you have the slightest taste of how I felt the last 3 years you guys have talked about Breath of the Wild.
Don't worry. You guys don't worry about it. Now that we're done with this, we don't have anything for a few months. I'll be getting back into Minecraft Dungeons, so strap in for that next week.
Steve, not to cut you short, but do you have any other games you've been playing? Or I'm going to
That's
piggyback then, because, yeah, well, I played Monster Hunter with Steve. We already talked about it. You know how that went down. Nothing to say there. I thought it might be fun to shiny breed for a Dragonair. A Dragonair that I wanted in my game.
Well, you haven't been able to get one in Pokemon Go yet, so you don't have a choice.
He's a biggin.
I've hatched about 30 eggs, and I haven't really jumped back into it because
one of them fire breathers.
When you have like things to do, shiny hatching eggs is so boring. So like, I don't know, that hasn't really been a thing.
You need to binge a good show if you're gonna shiny hatch.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's right. But when I'm binging TV now, I'm playing Path of Exile, which, by the way, a lot of progress there. Nothing really special to say, but me and Corey are buying a bunch of stuff with in-game currency because we're super rare or super rich. No, really, the only thing I wanted to talk about was I was on the eShop the other day, and an anime series that I've never watched, Sword Art Online, but that I happened to have talked to Eugene about like the day before, just randomly.
Weird, right?
Yeah. I sent him a video, and I was like, "Do you know what this song is? Is it Dark Souls? Because it was in like a Dark Souls like video." And he sends me like a link to like a random like Sword Art Online video with like the song. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. Encyclopedia. This game, Fatal Bullet, which is kind of like an offshoot of, I guess, the second series in the show after like the medieval RPG one. It was $8 on the eShop, and it's usually $60. So I was like, well, that's a sign that I need to grab this for like 78% off or whatever. So I did. And this afternoon, I started playing a little bit of it. I haven't gotten very far, so I don't really have anything to say. But I feel like I never get lucky enough to find a game I'm actually interested in that's like less than $10 when it usually costs full price. So I was really excited to purchase that. So I'm looking forward to giving that game a try and seeing how it goes. But much like Pokemon Snap for Eugene, I think this will probably be a very slow burn for me because, again, Path of Exile exists, guys, and that's taken all my free time. Justin, what exiles have you been pathing?
So I've been playing Breath of the Wild.
Tell me about how the physics impacts the gameplay.
I actually haven't been playing Breath of the Wild, and I haven't been playing Immortals. I for some reason I've just been having trouble focusing on open world games, so I've been playing an open world game that isn't really an open world game. For whatever reason, I just decided to jump back into LA Noire.
Ah, that was close.
I'm not doing. What was your guess?
Lego City.
Oh,
I downloaded
I did get back into that a few weeks ago, but yeah, for some reason, like I just had this need to go back to LA Noire. I never beat it, and I never beat it on the PS3. So I'm like, all right, so I'll play a few missions of that. I'm still not the greatest at interrogating people. Like,
It's weird, right? Like, it's supposed to be kind of obvious, and it makes me feel like maybe I have like a cognitive disadvantage that like I'm not good at reading people's faces, but like it's weird.
So all right, and I won't say which mission this is, because I want to spoil it. Not that but so I was doing this mission where, obviously somebody's killed, and you're interviewing his wife, and you're you know she's lying, and you have the option to either press her for more information or accuse her. So I accuse her of being responsible for his death because I found a weapon covered with blood near the site that I knew I could tie to the murder.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, the coroner hadn't tied that weapon to the murder yet, so when I accused her of doing exactly what she did, it counted as getting it wrong because I was jumping to the conclusion. And so like I've done a few when I know I have the right answer but I pick the wrong option according to the game, I'll reload the game and go back and do it the way the game wants me to do it. But it's still a fun game. Like, I like trying to put together the clues and solve the mysteries and all that. So I'm still enjoying it, but yeah, just like the interrogating thing, like I still need to get good at it.
It fills me with dread when I'm playing that game and I hear the incorrect chime, you know, that like, the like diddle-dun or whatever noise that plays like when you get it wrong. Like
well, and like the first 3 or 4 notes of the chime are exactly the same as you got it correct, and then the last few notes like drop down. I'm like, God damn it. Oh, I got it right. No.
I'm sure you already said, but what console are you playing it on?
On the Switch.
Okay. Because isn't there a VR version of that?
Huh.
Not that I know of.
Could be. Who knows?
It could be.
Is there a VR version of any Rockstar game?
I'm going to look it up.
I feel like if there was, that would be a good pick, though, because fast travel meant you really never had to drive around.
I've been using the fast travel because...
You like to drive around...
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's called the VR Case Files, and it's on Steam.
Huh. Cool.
And it's like official Rockstar games or... Oh, okay.
I remember hearing that name.
There you go. Yeah, no, it's a really cool game. Very old by today's standards, but very fun. Very unique too, right? I mean, like short of maybe like Phoenix Wright during like the courtroom segments, I've never really played another game quite like it.
Yeah, it's really like, I would love to see them take this formula and make another game out of it. Like, you know, give me Chicago Noir or New York Noir or something like that.
Hey,
like there's like they could definitely take this and apply it to another city in this with the same style, or, you know, put a modern spin on it. Maybe get, you know, an
80s Miami.
Right. Exactly.
LA Vice or Miami Vice. That's already a thing now.
I think the studio that made it went out of business or something. I can't remember exactly what, so we may never see another one, but it is an interesting game.
I'm so sorry. Is that your only change the system?
Oh no. I have been playing some Miitopia. I actually didn't play it for most of the week because I was trying to get
Do you have the full game or just the demo?
I have the full game. Okay. I downloaded the demo and my kids loved it. So I'm like, well, we promised we would get you guys a game a couple of weeks ago and you didn't pick anything out. If you want this, we'll just call it a wash and we'll get it for all of us.
I heard the soundtrack is amazing.
It's pretty good.
I haven't played a whole lot of it, mostly because I was waiting until I could get my other Miis, because my 3DS was missing, my Wii U gamepad was dead, so I didn't have... So the other night I spent, you know, my wife and I were sitting here watching Sex and the City, and I'm sitting there with an amiibo transferring me one by one.
It's
from
such a pain in the butt.
God, if Nintendo can make something a chore, they will. So now that I have a bunch more of my favorite Miis on here, I'm definitely ready to jump into it some more. But I might be distracted because I bought a new game that was on sale, had a Lucas moment. I broke down and got Burnout Paradise Remastered.
Oh, nice.
Which is funny.
I've been looking at that one.
Which is funny because Burnout Paradise is my least favorite Burnout game. And I already bought it plus all the DLC on the Xbox 360. Then I bought the Burnout Remastered for $15 on the Xbox One. Didn't play it. But I went ahead and spent another $15 on Burnout Paradise for the Switch, mostly because I figured it's a good pick up and play game. So
Adding it to my wish list now.
I didn't realize
it's
there were
on sale
multiple
right
versions
now.
of
So
Burnout.
if you're curious about it, pick it up.
How much?
$15.
Damn,
I don't think it's
only have
ever
10
been.
I only have 9 in my account.
Guys, is this a podcast conversation or like an after the show conversation?
The only other thing of note is I upgraded my Power Rangers Battle for the Grid to the whatever they're calling the Ultimate Edition. So I now have all the DLC for that. I haven't played a whole lot of it, but it is one of my favorite fighting games on the Switch. So a cat has invaded the show. A wild kitty has appeared.
And you could catch it all if you were only watching the live stream.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it. I downloaded Knockout City. I haven't tried that yet, so maybe I'll have something to say about that next week.
Well, you reminded me about something that I want to mention real quick that should have been a news topic, and Steve has a little more info on it. I just heard some loose rumors. But I talk about this game all the time. The company that, or at least the remnants of the company that originally made Time Splitters, is apparently working on a new something. Hopefully a sequel to Time Splitters 3, which I guess would be Time Splitters 4.
Yeah, so the company, or the members of the company that used to make Time Splitters have acquired the license to Time Splitters and have announced that they will be working on a Time Splitters title.
I mean, I'll take Time Splitters 3 on the Switch or Time Splitters 4. Just give me that goodness again. That is my
How do I know all this stuff?
You're so good.
It's funny because the team that made Time Splitters were developers that split off of Rare after making GoldenEye.
Really?
Then after making 3 Time Splitters games, they were bought by Crytek, and a bunch of them left Crytek and apparently are making their own company. Like, it's so weird how that has split in so many different ways at this point.
It's a mess, dude. I complain all the time about indie devs, but AAA companies are just as bad, if not worse. Like, it's a nightmare industry. Like, there's no easy answers.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely I will take some more Time Splitters if they can remaster the old ones or give us a new one. Like, as long as it's got that old fashioned
so hopeful.
FPS.
It was a very early announcement. It's like, hey, we're the people that did this. We have the license, and that was effectively the announcement.
So by the year 2100, we might get ourselves a new Time Splitters game.
So here's the thing about Time Splitters that I really hope, if they're making a new one, that carries over. Because after Halo, FPSs went down this route where instead of these quick little burst levels, it started being these huge, sprawling, like hour-long levels.
Campaigns.
Yeah.
Jumping everywhere. You're using devices to change.
Even the Activision quote-unquote remake of GoldenEye did the same thing. And like, I really hope that if this team is making a new Time Splitters game or whatever, that they keep those short, like 10, 15-minute levels.
Yeah.
Like, because you can get so much more good gameplay out of those short levels than the big sprawling ones that just drag on.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of dragging on, I think we've dragged this show on just about long enough. Thank you all for listening and being a part of our wonderful world. We will be back next week with another episode for you guys and probably even more to talk about. So stay tuned.
Peace.
See you real soon.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Get your vaccine.
Eugene, working in a little audio section. I like it.